I was thinking, cheer. Not happy. Sitting in the tub. Not happy at all. Don't want to talk to my wife. Is it me? Is it me? Did I do something? No, it's not you. I just don't want to talk. So let's talk about, I need to have cheer. As a believer, I need to be happy, right? It's not that you're happy all the time, but I should have cheer. Jesus talks about cheer. So, verse 33 off of John chapter 16. And so, let's go back to verse 31. Jesus, you believe at last, Jesus answered, but a time is coming, and a time has come when you will be scattered, and to each to his own home, and you will leave me all alone. So this is what's happening. He's going to the cross. He's forecasting what is going to happen here pretty quick. I'm going to the cross. This is what's going to happen. You guys are going to be scattered, and leave me all alone, yet I am not alone, for my Father is with me. So I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace, and in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Some different styles of the Bible, whether it be King James, New King James, Amplified, some of them say, be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. Be of good cheer. What do you mean, be of good cheer? Be of good cheer. So, I get grouchy. I get upset. So we all get grouchy and upset. We all get in a mood. It's not about us never getting in a mood. It's about handling the mood when it comes your way, the situation when it comes your way. And so we all do get in these moods, but the problem is when something overcomes you, you have to realize that Jesus has already overcome it. And so we have to recognize that. And so Jesus is saying, so this is a thing that Jesus promised, that things are going to go sideways once in a while. Because you live in a sinful world, there will be tough times. And tough times might be for a day, it might be for a week, it might be for a season. Whatever that season might be, you may go through hard times, but be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. I mean, we look at our music. Like, I've been working with this guy who's I've given, because he plays country music, and then there's rap music all at the same time, and I don't know, and he's a cowboy, he rides bulls and all this stuff, and so I'm like, I never saw this coming, and he listens to this rap music. I don't even know, I've heard rap, but don't get me wrong, I know Snoop Dogg, and I know all those guys, I know them, and I've heard their songs, or whatever they're called, and he's playing this stuff, so I call him P. Diddy from the Fitty. No, I call him Brett Diddy from the Fitty. So anyways, this is his stuff, but it's so dark, and it's not of good cheer. Like, this is talking about, I don't even want to talk about it. Like, this is like, get you in a mood, but not a good mood. Like, this is a little bit of, we do a good job in our lives of not being cheerful. So you listen to our music, there's even the country songs are kind of down and drinking, and my woman left me, and my dog left me, right? And all this stuff. It's all this downer stuff. We do a good job at not being cheerful. And here Jesus is, and he's saying there's going to be coming a time real quick where you guys are going to be scattered, you're going to be going home, and you're going to leave me alone. This is the heading towards the cross. But be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. So what he's saying is, in the locker room, he's in the locker room, the game is about to get started, the real game, and that is the game of the cross. And he's in the locker room, and he is saying, it's going to look like we're losing at halftime. But I'll tell you what, don't worry, when the game is done, we will win. And so be of good cheer, be of good cheer. Okay, well, I'll try to be of good cheer. So if there's be of good cheer. If there's good cheer, maybe there's some bad cheer. Is there such thing as bad cheer? Be of good cheer. Well, if there was just one cheer, he'd say, be cheerful. But he says, be of good cheer. So this be of good cheer is a Greek word written in the Bible. It's called tharseos. That's what it is. Take one what are we looking at? One version says, take heart. One says, be of courage. One says, be of good cheer. Take courage, be of good cheer. It is tharseos. Now, Jesus didn't speak Greek. He spoke Aramaic. So he wouldn't have said tharseos. But in the Greek, it says tharseos, be of good cheer. Okay, so if there's good cheer, there must be bad cheer. What is bad cheer? So bad cheer is when you take a sedative to dull the symptom instead of giving a solution to fix the need. That's the bad cheer. That's the bad cheer. There's good cheer that Jesus says, be of great cheer, be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. There is bad cheer. That is when you take a sedative for a symptom, but it doesn't take care of it's not a solution for the need that you have, or the symptom that you're going through. That is, in fact, the bad cheer. Now, I don't know if you knew this, in Deuteronomy, and you don't have to go there, you can if you want. Deuteronomy, there was all kinds of laws and requests that were made known. Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 5. So this is what a man does when he first gets married back then. And so there talks a lot about cheer and happiness. If a man has recently married, he must not be sent to war. So you got something going good for you. Men, you married that woman, you don't have to go to war or have any other duty laid on him. And other versions say, no business is applied to him for a year. For 1 year, he is to be free. Who doesn't want to get married now, guys? Free for a year. Let me read this again. I didn't know about this. Nobody told me about this. If a man has recently married, he must not be sent to war or have any other duty laid on him. For 1 year, he is to be free to stay at home and bring happiness to the wife that he has married. A whole year. This was Hebrew law. You're supposed to stay home for a year, and the women are excited, and I have them on my side now. You know what? You know how happy I make my wife? Part-time? I'm out working and doing all this stuff. In just my spare time, I make my wife so happy. Who doesn't believe in 2 weeks she kicked me out of the house? And I'll be back to work. So anyways, there's something to do with happiness and cheerfulness. Be of good cheer, take courage, for I have overcome the world. So we know that there's good cheer. I think we're going to look a little bit at bad cheer. The Bible talks about, man, if you get married, you're supposed to stay at home for a whole year. Jim, you were supposed to, like if you were a Hebrew back, you were supposed to try to make her happy for a whole year. You do that anyways. So cheer is a big thing. It's a big deal. When Paul was on a ship he was basically, it was a ship of slaves, and he was going to be handed off as a slave basically too. And anyways, he was heading out, and the ship started to sink. And in the King James Version, I think it is, it says, and it's Acts chapter 27, verse 25, I believe. He says, "Wherefore, sirs, the ship is sinking." So we're talking about cheer. This doesn't make any sense. "Wherefore, sirs, be of good cheer." And your boat is sinking? So I'm looking at this a little different. Let me read this a little. And I don't have the King James Version. I don't run on the King James, but I run on the NIV, 27 verse 25. "So keep up your courage, men, for I have faith in God that it will happen just as he told me. Nevertheless, we must run aground on some island." You're sinking. You're done. These people the sailors are afraid. And he says, "Wherefore, sirs, be of good cheer. I am not in doubt, because my God has already told me what's supposed to happen. Wherefore, sirs, be of good cheer. Be of good cheer. Tharseos, be of good cheer." But this good cheer, it seems like a command. But be of good cheer. Cheer is kind of an emotion, isn't it? Maybe it's more than emotion. Maybe it's cheer or happiness is even more than an emotion, but it seems like a command. And I can't be happy. I was just pouting Thursday night because of a few things that happened. And I tried to be happy, and I really tried. And then I tried some stuff, and I'm going to talk about it. But I think it's a command, and it's a command because Jesus does not, from what I see, and he said every time that he talked about be of good cheer. So he came to that guy that was paralytic. Is that what the word is? Paraplegic. He couldn't move. He was paralyzed. He was a man that was paralyzed. They brought him in on a stretcher. And he said, "Be of good cheer." Now, I can understand if he healed the guy first and then said, be of good cheer. But he looked at this person who was paralyzed and he said, be of good cheer. So what I'm getting at, what I'm understanding here, and every time Jesus said in the Bible, in the New Testament, be of good cheer, he never said it on a sunny day. He never said it standing in the sun. It was always a hard time, yet he said, be of good cheer. For I have overcome the world, John chapter 16, verse 33. Okay, so what it is Jesus wants us to be cheerful, not just because of the improving situation, but that he has come into your situation. That's what he wants. And it doesn't mean that you can't be happy because things are going good. It just can't be, your cheer cannot just be tied or tethered to the situation that you're walking through. He says you need to be cheerful, not because of the situation, but because I have come into your situation. That's what we need to be cheerful about. I have overcome. And so for me, I can tell, so Bonnie, you're not happy. I can tell. And so it's easy for me to, see, she's happy now, see? In an embarrassed sort of way. I could give you a prescription for your unhappiness. Looking, I know you a little bit, and so this is what we should do. This is what we should do. I'll write this down, and this is a prescription, a prognosis of your unhappiness, or where you're at, what you're struggling with. I can write a prescription for you, but for me, it's harder. It's way harder for me to write a prescription because we have a faded perspective when we are going through the pain. When we personally are going through the pain, we don't have a good perspective. But friend, if I'm standing in the sun and you are getting rained on, it's easy for me to stand here and go, well, this is what you need to do. But it's harder for us to diagnose our own sadness, our own wherever we might be. And so what we do, when we do try to diagnose it, I'm not even going to tell you that story. I won't even go there. But when we do try to diagnose it, we often tend to go to the bad cheer. We go for the quick hit, the quick fix. And so I'm feeling down, I'm feeling bummed, I'm not feeling right, I'm not feeling it. Everything's going sideways. And so I go and I get a big bag of barbecue Old Dutch chips. And I eat that whole thing because I don't care. Anybody else been there?
Oh yeah.
And that's the bad cheer because you feel good it's the quick fix. It's the quick hit. It's not the good stuff. And so you eat that whole bag. And it feels good. For a little bit. And then you feel terrible. You feel terrible after you do that. Or maybe you go to a site on the internet where you shouldn't be for a quick fix. Or maybe you take your MasterCard and you start buying stuff because you don't feel good. You start buying stuff. That's going to make me feel better. And we have cute little names for it. We call it retail therapy. But is it really therapy when it's hurting us even more than how we were to begin with? I don't think it's therapy. But it is because we're trying to diagnose ourselves. And it's so hard because of the perspective that we're standing in of pain. We don't have a good perspective. And we go for the quick hit. We go for the good feel. But then it drops us, it crashes us, and we sometimes despise ourselves for what we've done. And it's just that quick hit, and then we feel even worse than we did. But there is this person, there is this God from heaven. He pursued you. He came from heaven. When you were at your worst, he pursued you. He came and sought you. His name is Jesus, and he is not just the good physician. He was called the great physician. I'm a good doctor. Some people, it's hard to have doctors. It's hard to get doctors. Dr. Stale is a good doctor. A lot of people don't like her because she tells you exactly. She'll tell you if it hurts your feelings. She'll tell you. And that's a good doctor. You need to have that. You know, a good doctor, when you say a good doctor is one that just kind of keeps things away, just kind of makes you feel good. Oh yeah, he's a really good doctor. He's really good. He didn't even tell me I had cancer for 8 months. That's not a good doctor. Dr. Stale is a good doctor. She will tell me, she will be brutally honest because I've got these hurts. Well, this is what happens when you get old, Marty. I don't want to hear that. And I'm not getting old, by the way. Dr. Stale, but she's brutally honest. But Jesus is not the good doctor. He is the great doctor. He is not the good physician. He is the great physician, and he will give you a prescription. He will give you a prognosis of what you are going through. We do sometimes a good job, but many times we go for the bad cheer, the quick hit. But Jesus is a great physician. How great is he? He is a great physician that does not need a scan to tell you what you have. He doesn't need to put you through machines. He is the great physician, and he knows exactly what you need. And we need to go to him when we're feeling low. We need to go to him when we're struggling. And sometimes our perspective is so blinded and so faded because of the pain that we're in. Go to him and he will tell you the truth. He will bring the truth. I saw on the internet a long time ago, it said truth, the only thing that people won't believe. It's like, it is kind of true, but he is the truth. And he says, be of good cheer, Tharseos, for I have overcome the world. And so he looks at this paralytic man in Matthew chapter 9, verse 2. He looks at this guy that's paralyzed, and bringing him on a stretcher, and he looks at him and says, be of good cheer. Not after he healed him, but before. And then all the Pharisees, they were getting mad at him because he talked about your sins are forgiven, and so they got uptight about all that, and it continued on. But he said, be of good cheer before he was healed. So this whole thing, Jesus wants you, I want you to know, I'm telling myself first, I'm telling you second, that Jesus wants you to have cheer in your life, happiness in your life, courage in your life, not because even if the situation is improving, but because that he is in your situation. He loves you that much. The good stuff. Who doesn't want the good stuff? Yeah. I want the good stuff. And somebody say, no, I want the bad stuff. The bag of chips. It tastes good for a minute. Now, trust me. I tried it yesterday. I did it yesterday. Just to see the food. Anyways, I want the good stuff. This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff. I don't want the bad stuff. I don't want the bad stuff where, yeah, I eat because I just don't know what else to do, and eat makes me feel good, and then all of a sudden I feel terrible, and I got to unbuckle my pants, and I go, man, I got another 5 pounds to lose. I don't want that stuff. I don't want to go home and drink 3, 4, 5 glasses of drink and say that it's just calming me down, but instead it's numbing me. That is the bad stuff. I don't want the bad stuff. I don't want the bad stuff where I go on Facebook and see how many likes I only got 17. I was hoping to get 25. I don't want the bad stuff. I don't want to be starting a job and starting a whole pile of jobs and never finishing any of them. I don't want that. That's the bad stuff. I don't want to be sitting in front of a TV for 4 or 5 hours every night as the TV watches me, and I feel kind of at the end of the night going, ugh. For me, I don't want to do that. That for me, that doesn't work for me. That is the bad stuff. This is what I want. I want the good stuff. I want the stuff without an expiration date on it. I want the stuff, my boss is a jerk, but I still got joy. No matter what the situation is, he's a jerk, but I still got joy. I want the good stuff. I want the good stuff that Friday night and Saturday night, I still have joy. It's just not on Sunday. I want the good stuff on Monday morning. That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff that I want. I want to have the stuff that I feel like I'm walking through hell and my boat is half full of water. It's starting to sink, but I still have joy, the good stuff. That's what I want. Does that make any sense? That's what Jesus is talking about. The good stuff. I want the good stuff. I don't want it to be directly related. I want it to be tethered to the truth of Jesus Christ. Not tethered to how society and people that I come in contact back and forth, and they say this, and they take that, and they tear this down, and they do something in my family, and I don't want to be tethered to that. I want to be tethered to the rock. So a prescription. We do a bad job, I already said that. Sometimes and I don't want to cut you down, maybe you do a great job. Maybe you do a great job at dealing with your moods and stuff. I don't. I do not a terrible job, and I get along. I make it happen. As long as I got those chips. But we do because we have a clouded view because of the pain. We have a different perspective on our own because of the pain we're going through. And so, this is a good example. I went Friday because my hip was bugging me so much. And so I went to massage. I do that. I go to massage. And she was working on my hip, just walking upstairs. I was like Jim. I was kind of like my father-in-law walking upstairs. It's like, I'm only 52. This shouldn't be happening. And I was walking like that, and I'm trying not to walk, trying to be, but it probably made me look even stupider. And it was really hurt, so I went and saw Sarita. And she's working on me, and so she's working on these areas, but then she started working on some other areas because you've had the shoulder surgery and you've had this shoulder that was really bad for years, all of a sudden you start compensating. And we have this thing about we start treating it where we think it hurts, but it's not the right pain, it's not the right place. It's referral pain. And so I was hurting down here, but it's because I'm out up here. So she starts working on some stuff up here, and then let loose. It was good down here. But I just go here. This is and so we attack this spot. But it's just referral pain, and we hit the wrong spot because we don't have a good perspective because of the pain. It just hurts here, but maybe it's not coming from here. Maybe it's coming from your heart because everything, the Bible said, everything flows from your heart. So diagnosis. Jesus, I think God's got a little bit of diagnosing for each one of us when it comes to our moods, when it comes to our emotions, how we feel, how your Monday morning is coming up, how you're going to feel Monday morning. If you go to work at Mount Poly, this is a test. So, this is going to be a test. We're going to see how great God is. So, the first test, first prescription, how to work on your emotions, how to work on your mood. This is biblical. Check your countenance. Check your countenance, your physical face, how you look. And so, how do you look? What's your actual, because we all have a resting heart rate. We all have a resting face too, right? You know what I'm talking about. We all have that. Anyways, I'm not going to go there. We all have these resting faces and heart rates. And what is yours? And so, what is mine? Because I looked at mine, and I'm not smiling a lot, so I'm kind of grouchy and grumpy. And even when I smile in pictures, and I've looked, Cindy's always making fun because I'm trying to smile, but it's going down like this. And it's weird. I'm not even trying to do that, but I make a smile, but it's inverted or whatever. And why is it like that? Maybe it's because I remember being a kid growing up, and I went to Halifax with my cousin Kevin, and he said, he probably was playing with me, but he said, this town's tough. Like, he was like 8. He said, this town's tough. And I was like, I just looked up to Kevin. He was 3 years older than me. I looked up to him, and he said, you got to walk like this. And we were in the downtown Halifax. And so here was a 5-year-old just walking like this in the face, in the face I had. It was like this, and he must have been laughing. But sometimes our upbringing will set our countenance. So did you guys get a handout, some paper? Did Ed pass you some paper?
Yeah.
The one with the emojis on it? Did you get that? So, take a look at, it's on a white piece of paper. I don't know, did you guys get it? No. I had a whole pile of them back there. Ed's fired. There was a whole bunch there. Thanks, Lisa. Could somebody that didn't get one, you need one, just share one? Check your countenance. What do you look like? Sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, who hurt that guy? Because I'm not smiling so much. Who hurt that guy? My face should reflect the light of my Father in heaven. The victory that He has given me. My face I should be a reflection of the reflection of God's face. It really should be. What He's given me, I should be smiling. So, you're looking at these, and this is just one that I spun off, Cindy spun off from the internet. You don't have to color it. So we got it all. If you're in a little crowd here, husbands and wives and brothers and sisters, however it works, which face is the person you're sitting next to on there? What's the one? Be honest. Which one? What are we getting here, guys? Because I know Cindy'd probably say, for me, I'd probably be that guy. You know, like a little bit angry, a little bit. I'm sometimes like that. Sharon, which one is Jim? You got to be honest.
I don't know. I think he's probably like this.
The heart one, guys. The eyes with hearts. So okay. So come on, let's get a little deeper. Let's get a little bit deeper to the bone here. Which one, Claudine, is Randy? I think I know what this one is. So this is your countenance. I'm just trying to bring it to life. What's Randy's countenance, you think? I'm not.
I'd say this one.
A happy one. That's what I thought it would be. Let's find one here. What's Skeed's? Skeed, what's yours? Okay, Tina.
That one.
Okay,
The middle on the far right.
Okay, the middle one on the far right. I believe that one too. So we all have these and so this gives you an idea. Someone that's close to you, someone that knows you well. This is kind of who you. This picture represents who you are. Kind of maybe your countenance a little bit. Mine would be probably a little bit of that grumpy guy. And I'm aware of it too, because I know I'm around my nieces and nephews, and I think inside that they think I'm grumpy. Because I'm not always smiling. I'm not that kind of a guy. But maybe I should check my countenance. Because honestly, your emotions can be fooled. They actually can. There's a command. It's a command, be of good cheer. It's a command. Your emotions can be they're almost like sheep. So you can smile, and I tried it when I was so down, and I laughed at myself. So I kind of changed my countenance. I was grumpy and grouchy and disappointed, and I just tried smiling. You ever do that? Try that when you're grouchy. That's so hard, and you feel like an idiot. But then I started laughing. I started change your countenance. Change actually your physical countenance. I love traffic. This gives me more time to pray. Maybe it's like that. Or my car is broke. I just love more bills, But I'm just trying to make a little light of it, But what I'm trying to say is be aware of your countenance, because what you behold, and I've heard this said many times, is husbands and wives that have been together for a long time, they start looking like each other. Have you ever heard that? And so you become what you behold. You become what you behold. And so if you behold the Son of God, if you are in, prayer with Him, if you're reading His Word, if your mind is on Him, if you're thinking about Him, His face will shine on you. And I believe that your face will also. How can it not shine when God's face shines on you? When you are close. So this is what I say this week. Get in God's face. Because there will be a shine on you. Get in His face. Not in a bad way. Well, He can handle it if you had to anyway. But get in His face so that His face will shine on you. Be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. The world is nothing compared to Jesus Christ. The world is nothing compared to God. He made it all. And one day He's coming back. I mean, countenance is a big thing. Numbers chapter 6. This was the priests. It was a thing that the priest gave to build up the people. And it said, this is Numbers chapter 6, verses 24 through 28. It talks about countenance. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Countenance. Check your physical countenance. Be of good cheer. Tharseos, for I have overcome the world. So that's the first thing. A diagnosis, a prescription that I'm giving to you. When you're going, when you got that Monday morning thing, smile and say, I love Monday mornings. I just love it. And then just try it. I know that sounds like you're an idiot. I know that's what it sounds like, but try it. Just try to change your countenance a little bit. And second of all, your circulation. Your circulation. Check your circulation. So when it comes to the body, and I studied a lot back in grade 11 and 12 about, we had phys ed and we studied a bunch of stuff, and it was, I don't remember a lot of it anymore, but some of it I do remember, and it was about the blood and the flow of the blood, and the blood starts, in the heart, and it's pumped out, and it goes through your body, and it comes back, and it takes about a minute to come back. And so when the heart pumps that blood out, he looks at that blood, and he says, see you in a minute. And so it comes back, and if it doesn't come back, there's something wrong. And so God has placed into each one of us special gifts, special skills, things that you are good at, that he wants you to glorify him with. He has put stuff inside of you. And so how can I put this? The sign of true joy and happiness in this world. The definition of that is, the definition of true joy and happiness when it comes to this world is what you can get. What can I get? That's it, from this world standpoint, that is the true sign of joy and happiness. What can I get? But when it comes to a believer, when it comes to the things of God, that it is a little different. It is, what can I give? Mm-hmm. And that sounds harsh, and that sounds weird. What do you mean give? I want to get. Who doesn't want to get? Well, you just want to get, and get, and get. It's shiny, and it rusts, and it falls apart, and you go get more. Mm-hmm. But the stuff that God gives never falls apart, doesn't rust, always shines. And so God has placed stuff in you, in your heart. But if you are not giving, if you are just receiving, but I believe the word of God, it says, where is it? See if I can find it. Luke chapter 6, verse 37. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and it will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. And I always thought this was kind of maybe for tithing, but I don't think so, because he's talking about all these things. He just talked about judging. If you judge, you're going to be judged. If you don't forgive, you're not going to be forgiven. If you don't give, you're probably not going to get much. So it says give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, it will be poured into your lap, for it is the measure you use. With the measure you use, it will be measured to you. So God has placed stuff in each one of us. But I just want to get. That's what the world says. I want more. Give me more. But God says give. And so we've got all this stuff that he's put in our heart. He's put in our lives, and we're not giving any of it, and we are drowning in the stuff that God has already put in us. We're drowning in it. We're supposed to give. Try giving. You need encouragement. I'll tell you what, you're down and you need encouragement. The best thing you can do, and I have tried this, is to go encourage somebody. To go build somebody else up. You walk away like, that helped me, but more than it probably helped them. And I didn't do it for that. I'm just trying to follow what God says. So you feel encouraged, you need to be encouraged, go encourage somebody. Is that making any sense? Mm-hmm. Circulation. What you give is what you will get. So if you give bitterness is coming out, you're going to receive bitterness. Now this is kind of how you see, this is sometimes how we act and sometimes how the circulation in our lives, if you see God as a unforgiving God, you will probably act unforgiving in this world. We are a reflection. And that goes back to countenance too. We are a reflection of our Father. And I'm even a reflection of my foster dad, who I honestly didn't like that much. And he did things that I couldn't stand. But I find myself still being a bit of a reflection of who he was, where he used to go and do things, and then I catch myself doing those things. Even if we're not trying, sometimes we're a reflection of our Father. So to be a reflection of our Father in heaven, we are called to give, to get that circulation. And so if we picture him as an unforgiving God, we might be unforgiving in our whole life the way we live in our world. If we see God as a judgmental God, we might act very judgmental in our lives, in how we perceive others, and how we interact with others. We might be very judgmental. If you see God as a loving God, we're probably going to love others. That's how we see him. We are a reflection of who we see. We become who we behold. And so it's not about getting, it's about giving. Give, and it will be given to you. How did it say? Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing. But it's not getting it, it's giving it. You want to get the good stuff? You want to get the good stuff? Give it. Give it. Give it. So, does that make any sense this week? For this coming week, it's when it comes to your moods and your emotions, it doesn't mean that you can't get in a mood. It's what you do with that mood. Be of good cheer. Tharseos, I have overcome the world. Check your countenance. We should be a reflection of our loving Father in heaven. And yes, we're going to have hard times, but check out his prescriptions. Check out his prescription. Circulation. Get it flowing. What he's put in your heart. Just don't keep it in there, because you're going to drown in it. Get it going. Let it go. Let it go. And it's going to come back. Circulation comes back. Blood comes back. Heart says, goodbye to that blood. It's leaving. I'll see you in a minute. It's coming back. Give it. It's coming back. That's what the Word of God says. Give it, and it'll be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing. Do it. This is God's command. God's command to be cheerful is to do these things. Amen?
Amen.
Thank